In this video clip, I'll show you how can we work with a file and use the while loop. Okay, so guys, I will use the read file demo.java. So you can keep this file as a template. Whenever you want to read the file, you can use the scanner. Okay, so we start with the java.youtube.scanner. This is the one that you use to read everything before this video clip, right? Okay, and if you want to work with the file, you have to read java.io.file. And because sometimes this is the first time that you know about the exception, because sometimes the user enter the wrong file name, so it should be this one, file not found exception. Okay, so I'll start with public class read file demo and public static void main string and argument is. Okay, I hope that you can remember that. We'll use this template. We'll have 4 lines. Okay, so I will use the data.text to show you. Okay, this is the line number 1, ABC. Line number 2, 1, 2, 3. Line number 3, BCD. Line number 4, this is 3, 2, 1. For example, if we have these 4 lines, how can you read these 4 lines into your program? I hope that you can still remember that we use the file name data.text. So we start with the file in. We will use the variable name, that is f. Sometimes I use f in and f out. In this time I will use f is new file data.text and scanner in is new scanner. The data is you have to read from f. Okay, and you have to, because when you open the file, there's sometimes the data.text is not found in your system. So you have to throw file not found exception from your first line after the main one. Okay, so you have to throw file not found exceptions here. Okay, so let's try to compile it and test the program. Read file demo. Oh, sorry. We have to close using in.close the scanner, not the file. So read file demo. Okay, and test the program. So I think it's worked fine. Okay, so I'll change something here. That is, I will change it to the name that does not exist in your system. For example, this data1.text. Okay, so this time it should cause some error, right? Let's see. Exception in thread main java.io file not found exception, the one that we throw out from our program. Data1.text, no such file or directory. It means that Java cannot find this file, so it's correct, right? Okay. If if it if the data exists in your system, this won't cause any error. So it's simple. If I change data1.text, move sorry. If I move data1.text, I change the name to data1.text. So this file name is the one that is in our file, right? Our program. So let's run again. This time it has no exception, right? So now it's correct. Okay, so I think you can understand how can we handle this exception. Okay, because this file can cause the error. This line can cause the error. The error is file exception. The error is file exception. So the one that we can handle it is throws file exceptions in this line. Okay. So in any method that may cause some error, you have to throw the exception in the first line, first declaration. Okay. So guys, once you can open it, scanner in its new scanner elf, and this time if you want to read the data all lines from the file, you can use this statement while in dot has next line while your file still has next line. String data is in dot next line. You can use the same way as you did when you want to read from the keyboard, but this time you read the data from the file, so you can read it while in dot has next line. String data is in dot next line. It means that now you get one line and keep it in data, and you can work with this. After this, you can work with the data. So this is a pattern of how can we read all data from the file. So just if I just print out system.out.println data. So guys, compile it and run it. Can you see? This term is correct, right? Line, we have 4 lines, right? Let's see the file, data1.text. There are 4 lines. So we can read all data from the file. Okay, so let's watch the source code again. Okay, at the first line, make the file pointer like this is new file. You will work with this file and send it to the scanner, and then while in dot has next line, create a variable data that is in dot next line and print the data out. So if you want to work with the data, you can do it here. Okay, and please don't forget to close the file. So guys, this is how can we operate the using while to work with the file, read all data from the file. Okay, so you can do a lot of things after this. For example, I'll show you. If I remove all of them and I will store the data here. For example, if you have data like this, any kind of data, no worry. For example, you have 10, 20, 30, 20, 30, 40. For example, this is the score of the student. You have 6 students, and I want to read all of them using our same source code. So, guys, this is correct, right? It can read all data from the file, but this time I'll ask you to write the program that can read all scores from this data1.txt and find the average of them, of the data. Please pause the video, and once you finish, please come back to this video, and that'll be the solution after this. Okay, guys, if you are at this point, it means that you already finished your programs or maybe give up. And I'll show you how can we do it to find the summation and the average of the data. Okay, so this is a pattern that work with the file to process the file, all lines in the file. Again, we will have the int, or if this is int, or if the data is double, just make it double. Okay, so I will make it int data. We can start with 0 or some with 0 also. And in the case that you want to read, you want to find the average, you have to know the line that is n. So guys, print the data out, and sum is sum plus this one. You will read the data, but not next line, right? It's not next line, but it must be next int. And I will remove this one because we have this line already. Okay, so sum is sum plus data, and finally I will print to the screen. Okay, sum is sum plus data. This is the idea that I would like you to follow. We will try to incremental add the statements to the line, to the program, to make it work for some other conditions. But this term, I just use it like this. Okay, Java C and read file demo.java. So nothing error. So now run it. No such element exception. Can you see? Okay. Throw for scanner at line 12. So you have to check. Line 12. Okay. I'll run it again. You can see that it print all data out until the last one, right? No such element exception. So you have to go back and this one may cause an error. Okay, because this one has next line, we work with the line, we work with the string, but this time we change it to next int, so we will use has next int. Okay. Okay, let's compile it and run it again. Yes, that's all. Because at the first time we make it to work with the string, to read string from the file and check that if there's another line to read, we will read it. But this time we check if there is another integer to be read. So this time it worked with int. Okay. So it's correct, right? All data has 10, 20, 30, 20, 30, and 40. The last one is 40. So if you sum all of them, it will be 150. That's correct. This time I will add the number of data. Every time that you add the data to sum at this line, every time that you add data to sum, I will increase n. So n is n plus 1. That can be, you can write it like n plus equal 1. This one is the more complicated statement. To write this, to shorten this style, n is n plus 1. You can write it like n plus equal to 1. Okay, this is combination of operators. Add 1 first and then store the result to the left. Okay, so or n plus plus, that I'll tell you later about this. This is incremental. Increase n by 1. Okay, that's all. No worry. This is the syntax of the function, that the method that you can use. But this time we focus on our algorithm to read the data. Okay, so times 1.0 divided by n. Let's check the result. Compile it and run it. This is correct. The summation is 150, and you have 6 data, right? So it means that you divide 150 by 6. That is 25. Exactly 25. Okay, so guys, I hope that you can understand and you can get some idea from this example. Read the data from the file and find the average of the data. Okay, so in the next video clip, I'll show you how can we work with the while loop and some method from the string. Okay, so see you guys in the next video clip.